I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit!
Welcome back to my Krastorio playthrough. Time to start on the real base. First take back to the old base for some supplies and get some cliff explosives. Gonna need more belts overall, and because of that, time to build a small belt automation off the side of the main iron supply. To be honest, I never plan ahead and just go with the flow. That's why I decided to detour and kill some aliens. Well, missing a couple of resources on the base. Get the stone mine up and running. This will be needed for sand and stone bricks that the base will need. Gonna need more resource patches before this playthrough is over. Stone on the bus. Next on the agenda, wood. Simple enough. Then I decided to set up some coke production nearby. Gonna be using this for a lot of stuff, for fuel for our furnaces, for steel, and some military research later on. And because of that, I decided to make 2 furnace stacks for this production. This is part of my favorite point in the game, when you can just start building and keep building. Just focus on what's to be built to support your factory. Steel furnaces are up. Gonna build a second furnace stack down the road, since steel is used for a lot in this mod pack, from the different pipes to the different materials needed. Okay, the old factory is basically out of iron, so time to set up a mall over here. Just some basic stuff that doesn't need green circuits. There will be several malls in this base by the time this playthrough is done. Speaking of green circuits, here's the first setup. I say first because you need a lot of green circuits as the playthrough goes on. As red circuits need a lot of green circuits, you need a lot of red circuits. There is another green circuit setup. Blueprints and bots are amazing. Let me show you this once, guys, because I will have the bots expand the bus many times and it does look cool, but it is so time consuming. Didn't want to dismantle the old base at all, but I guess parts here and there isn't too bad, right? 2 stone brick stacks up and running, then onto the second mall for inserters and some other stuff needed for the factory. This is also the point in my playthrough where research grinds to a halt, but I do all this in the hopes that I will have a steady supply of research cards. Glass and a third green circuit setup? Never can have enough. Maybe. Next up, chemical science. I really don't want to use the small oil patch to north from my starter base, so I gotta claim the other one I scouted in episode 2. Clear out some natives. Accidents happen. Oil claimed. And walled off. These biters are doing some aggressive expansions. I run into the expansion when connecting my rail lines. Grenades are quickly produced to clear out trees for my oil drop-off station. I decided to make it closer to where the oil will be used. As you can see, I am an amazing driver. First drop off of the oil, now onto processing, and might as well set up cracking too. Then a sulfur and plastic setup. Then a lubricant plant. And last but not least, sulfuric acid. Not gonna lie, oil makes the game a little confusing, and the chemistry you get into this mod kinda hurts my brain. And I love it. Okay, I want to start producing red circuits. Already have the plastic and steel, just need silicone production. With silicone done, onto my red circuit setup. I made the executive decision to locally produce the electronical components, one that I do not regret, I promise. A lot of crazy belt routing later, my first red circuit setup is done. Furnace stack for rare metals up. Time to claim that nearby patch from the biters. And I'm dead. And once more. They mean business, or I'm just bad at combat. Mine is set up and walled off, gonna need a liquid to mine it. For some reason, I think it's the sulfuric acid. This will not be noticed until it's too late. I set up a tank for the acid nearby the train line, and run a pipe to the main storage tank. I finished the rail line, and have the train come pick up the acid, only to learn that it can't work on a curved rail, so I need to adjust off the drop-off point. I get that to work, and then send the train back off to drop off the acid, only to see that everything is not working. I then realize I need chlorine. I can take apart all the setup and rebuild it just to get rid of the sulfuric acid that's already in the miners, but I decided to do a reload of shame. I look into how to get the chlorine. While I do that, I start to think how dumb I am, and I start to work on tech card production. Once I'm less annoyed with myself, I set up the electrolysis plants. These are needed to make the chlorine I need to mine the rare metals. With that producing gas, I decide I need to finish up red science and work on green science, then blue science. The rare metal mine is finally up and running. I have those first 3 sciences automated. I set up a lab to continue precious research I need to do, and then start to use these advanced labs, and they are so loud. Since rare metal ore is slow to mine, I want to enrich the ore with ore enrichment, which needs hydrogen chloride, so I set up production. And I'm starting to think that maybe the water electrolysis plant I made is a little too small. My coal patch is getting hammered repeatedly, so I decided to beef up defenses. After thinking on it for a bit, I come up with this design for my ore enrichment. It works well in a decently small footprint. So this enrichment process produces the enriched rare metal ore and dirty water. Need to get rid of the dirty water somehow, so I make 2 water filtration plants. When you filter the dirty water, it produces water and has a chance to produce stone and rare metal ore. Well, just gonna use some filter splitters to get rid of these stone and ore. I got the enriched ore, I can convert that into rare metal. Look at those furnaces work. Just constant attack from these biters keep coming in. Need to do something about that. Either air filters, which seems like a lot, or expanding to military sites. Researching these bioprocessing plants is the best bet, since it produces the biomass I need for military research. I build a quick hand-fed setup for military once again. Bioprocessing research done, now I can build a setup for the automated military science. To produce biomass, you need to combine petrol gas with oxygen. Oxygen easy to get, just make a couple of atmospheric condensers to pull it straight from the air. Biomass production up and running. Then my worst nightmare happens. My starter base gets attacked by a recent expansion. I need this tank yesterday. I died again. These biters are getting annoying. As I expand the belts, I'm starting to reach that lake and biter nest. Really need this tank finished researching. Military tech cards are up and running. Tank's finished researching. This wall is just being hammered. Just need some supplies, and then I can rain democracy onto these biters. Explosive shells and poison capsules should do the trick. So vehicles in this mod pack come with equipment grids. Gonna fill my tank with these electric motors, so it moves faster. Let freedom reign. Well, with that democracy spreading mission complete, onto blue circuits. With these circuits in hand, I can now make power armor, then fill it up with these exoskeletons so I can finally not run like a snail. Time to start production on laser turrets, so I can replace these normal turrets. I up production of my red circuits so I can make more blue ones. Make a setup for landfill right on the bus, gonna need that soon. I like to finish off my videos with a small accomplishment, and this video has that. What is that I'm gonna end on? Well, it's my solar setup. I cleared the area where the solar panels are going to be set up. These poison capsules do a great job with trees. The design for my solar array is complete. Look at those bots work. Getting 50 megawatts of power from the solar grid, this is the major issue with solar. It's good power because it doesn't produce any pollution, but you need a ton of space. Connected it to the main grid. Well, next time I hope to start on some new sciences. These past 2 episodes have just been building. Sorry.